Snap off. Takes a shot. He's got it. And the end zone for a Washington touchdown.
Welcome to a special edition of Vikings Film Room. We're doing a deep dive on the quarterback prospects of 2024. I'm joined by Gabe Henderson. That's how special this group really is. Michael Penix, Gabe. Michael Penix, he's a bit of an enigma of the group in that he's left-handed, right? Does he move well? He got the injuries. You've got a lot of question marks on this guy. But when we take a look at this film, we're going to see that this guy can throw.
That's the number one thing that you'll see. When it came to deep yards in 2023, Michael Penix led all NCAA quarterbacks. He had almost 1,800 deep yards, which means throws over 20-plus yards. And when you have two wide receivers that's possibly going to go in the first round, all you got to do is just flick your wrist and throw it up to him. It's like playing basketball.
What you're saying is go deep or go home. But that's what I love about the film is we're going to see that there's a lot more to it. It's not just the physical ability that Penix has. It's a combination, and we're going to really see how this young man, I think, can be an excellent professional football player. Now, Washington's a bit of the tip of the spear when it comes to the offense. They do things a little bit differently, and Penix was the perfect guy to execute these things. And we're going to see a lot of deep down the middle of the field, a lot of posts, a lot of things are going to happen. But watch this first play, and you'll see exactly why this was so effective. Two receivers tight next to each other. What Penix sees right here is this safety, this corner, whatever he's in a bad position here, Gabe. Right? If you're sitting in the film room, you're going to say, all right, you've got help on the inside right here. You're way too head up on this wide receiver. Yeah. You need to be out here. And why is that? Because when this receiver decides, you know what, I'm going to take a step this way to make you think I'm going to this void, I'm going down the field. I mean, this guy's making a move almost 20 yards from the line of scrimmage. That's how this offense works. Right. We're not talking about the quick hitches and the quick throws, which is going to be a necessary part of an NFL throwing game. This guy, man, he can get down the field.
I mean, there's a reason why he's probably one of the top 5 receivers taken off the board this year. And if you're that DB, the reson why he's so overcommitted is because he's probably watched so many game tapes of that receiver beating DBs down the field with one stroke of a
he's like, I'm protecting the goalpost. I'm not. So he see him, he gets that, he doesn't do the speed turn, he gets all tied up, but that throw right over the top of the other safety, just a beautiful job reading things down the field. And that is not easy to do, to understand spatial relationships that far down the field.
Great job understanding relationships, but also the flick of the wrist. Like, it just looks so effortlessly throwing the ball 60 yards down the field.
And, another thing that stands out when you start watching what Washington was doing with Penix is this. I mean, look at that. He's all by himself. They're spreading this defense out.
5 wide.
Right? They're trying to spread this defense out and help Michael figure out what's happening down the field. In this case, watch this receiver down here in the slot. It's the same thing as before when you have a little bit of what you call the old cheese route, right? You're going to get this receiver to cross down the middle of the field. That is going to pull, as we have it in this purple arrow, this safety is going to go this way. And what does that do? Well, it just kind of pulls him out of the zone that he needs to be in because... Look at that.
Goodness.
You bite on that, you're burnt. You're deep. That nickelback had no chance of defending that from the outside.
And just look at Michael Penix, the way he was able to use his eyes to bring that safety down. That ultimately made the receiver be open behind that safety. So the use of his eyes, the being able to read coverages, I think that's another underrated part of Michael Penix's game on top of his arm strength.
All right, you mentioned earlier just the absurd almost arm strength, the ability. This throw right here is amazing. Let's talk about what we see pre-snap though, because I think it's all important because it's not just him catching a snap and heaving it deep. This isn't the schoolyard football, right? What does he have in front of him? Again, middle closed. What does that mean? That means you got a safety in the middle of the field. Anything that's going to go this way, you got a safety for help. What you don't have help on are these lanes, and you'll see it right here on the outside. Look at that area. You've got one-on-one, right? You've got a great receiver, but watch the yards in the air. Just watch this. He literally just sets his feet. Look at it. Flip of the wrist. Look at his ball position.
On a rope.
Right on the money. 46 yards in the air, effortless and accurate. That's the part that stands out.
You got to be able to make that throw in the NFL. You'll see opposing defensive coordinators basically say, look, we're going to let your receiver furthest away from you. We're going to line him up one-on-one and force you to throw that ball and complete it. Michael Penix, time and time again this year, completed that throw in which we saw right now.
And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Kevin O'Connell's number one attribute for a quarterback is accuracy.
Absolutely.
Accuracy. That right there, I guarantee you they were all smiling when they saw that film. All right. Again, another example of just what they do and how they attack the safeties. This is again middle close, right? So what does this mean? This receiver probably has a two-way go.
Right.
He's saying, if I have a safety sitting over the top of me, I'm going to run the post, which means run toward the middle of the field. I'm going to run away from whatever deep safety there is. If he's over the top of me, I'm going to the middle of the field. If he's in the middle of the field, he's going to do this right here. But what an adjustment, right? What an adjustment by this slot wide receiver and by Penix to know, all right, we got this guy in the middle of the field. I'm going to watch where this ball gets placed, though. Over the outside shoulder, away from the deep middle safety. So I don't care if that's a NFL deep middle safety. He's still not going to get there.
Right.
I don't care. You might say, well, it's a college. No. Nobody's getting to that ball.
He threw that wide receiver open.
There you go.
And you can't ask for anything better if you're an offensive coordinator. It's like, look, you're probably covered right here, but if I'm a quarterback, I'm going to put it in the spot where either my receiver catches it or they're out of bounds, the ground catches it, and I go to second down. Just a perfect placement for Michael Penix.
And with a veteran group, you don't want to be hanging your receivers out to dry.
True.
Exactly right. All right, again, reduced formations now. This time, attacking the deep middle of the field. Again, we're seeing, you have a couple of safeties deep in this situation. You have one here, but the vision of this guy, again, this is double post. This is the cheese route. This safety's looking at this tight end saying, oh, by the way, I'm covering him. What does that leave open? This receiver. But again, what Penix does is put the ball where it needs to be. Look at the relationship. This cornerback is outside of the wide receiver. So you want this guy to run away from the coverage. The old double post, look at this. Boom.
Goodness.
Right over the shoulder, right in the bread box. It's the accuracy down the field.
You hit that right on the head. I was just going to say, you look at these steep throws and says, oh man, this is great for viewership and highlights, but still, if you're a quarterback, you got to be able to make that throw. And the fact that he did that on a consistent basis, I believe 72% completion percentage in college football last year. That says a lot about what our future NFL team is getting with Michael Penix.
Yeah, with Penix, it's all about the accuracy. Now, your receivers might have to get used to that left-handed spin on the football. But you know what? He's definitely worth looking into. So keep an eye on Michael Penix on draft day.